what I'm going, I understand me wanting to live my life. I would take that shortened life to be able to live my life. I would take like if I had 20 more years to live, I would take 5 years of being authentic me.
For sure.
So I understand that. But when we're like,
but why does
what
it have
percentage
to
are we
mean
doing?
take pills and change your, like, have surgery? Like, why does that equate that? But I do understand that we live in a very critical, harsh, even world where there's a lack of acceptance of others that are not fitting the norm. And so I can see and understand why someone would go to an extreme so they can feel accepted. Because at the end of the day, we all want that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. That doesn't take much for me to feel accepted, but also I like time alone too. But it doesn't take much. But I definitely need it. I mean, I need to be around people, not a lot, but it's consistent on an everyday basis. I don't go crazy like I could. I don't go crazy to a certain extent. I mean, I can only laugh at my jokes so much.
Right? We need some other laughs to lift us up.
Having Harvard Henry and Kurt Pond laugh at my jokes, that can only happen so much. It's
totally.
good to have like another me that can do it, which that other me is you.
Yeah. I want to go back to the communication piece.
Okay.
Because we are talking about, topics that can be sensitive, topics that can feel uncomfortable, and I want to talk about the value of conflict, or the value of like being triggered, or the value of like feeling uncomfortable, and maybe that discomfort is going to push your boundaries of your belief system, and now that's going to create a bunch of filled emotions that now it's going to get heated, and now we're having a heated conversation. Some people automatically assume that because this conversation has become heated, that now it's no longer valuable, and either they want to like fight because now it's about a win or lose situation, or they want to retreat because they just think like, oh, this is a fight, without realizing that if you can, without it getting aggressive, right? It's okay to have your emotions, but work through the conflict. You actually are going to walk away with a lot of new information, and you yourself, the individual, will walk away. You push your boundaries. You regulated yourself in a very uncomfortable, like there's a lot of skills that you're practicing in that situation. But beyond anything, it opens the door for new points of view to be received, even if in the moment it didn't happen for you. There's always the residual afterwards. I feel like too often people run away from uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah. Did you ever see, and part of the reason why we're bringing this in is we're having very raw conversations, so it triggers you and makes you feel a certain way, to be able to get more comfortable with doing this, and not necessarily accepting things, being willing to listen and fully understand it. And also we all have our places that I cut it off at pedophiles.
Right. That's the boundary.
We have our place. You can always have that, but I figure if you're too rigid, you could benefit from being able to embrace it. Did you ever see the movie with Bill Murray, Groundhog Day?
Yeah.
So interesting thing about that, he keeps on living the same day over and over again. I know it had something to do with the groundhog, but he kept on living the same day over and over again. But he got better at, not necessarily in an enlightened certain way, but he got better at living that day.
Yeah.
To the fact that it got bored. And I think we're doing that on same level. We're living the same day over and over again.
Because we're not willing to like do something new or try something else, or
I got a ticket yesterday. It's the first time I got a ticket. Probably 9 years.
Really?
I've gotten the tickets.
Good for you.
I've gotten the tickets that are that's on the roads that you're driving, the pay roads, and then I forget to pay it, and then it turns into a ticket. I've gotten those, but written from a cop, and he goes, you made a right turn, and I put my indicator on, but I went from one lane over.
Oh, okay.
And he said to me, he goes, there's a lot of college students around and that's dangerous. And
So he
I
was
just,
concerned about the college students?
yeah, and I felt 100% that he was serious about that. So I was like, I accepted it.
Yeah.
He even thanked me after for accepting because he probably said, "Do with dreadlocks." They always argue with me back on the ticket. You know, it's like, and normally, and I told him, I was like, normally I did, but I was like, because I got a vision of what lane I was in, like a real strong vision, like more than consistent of what lane I was in, and the fact that I had done it, and I care for it. So like, I found common ground with him.
Right.
That I didn't feel that I needed to like have a long conversation with him because he was doing it, and some stuff came up with though, and then I was thinking like later on, okay, why did I attract it? And some stuff come up with financial situations. So I was as I feel I am most of the time. I'm a sovereign a human being that I took responsibility for that situation.
Right.
And I hadn't even been paying a cop because a lot of times I have cops following me behind me, and I do the 4 graces, and all of a sudden they end up having to go somewhere else. For some reason, I paid my registration, and the ticket hadn't come back, but he didn't write anything for that. But I was just like perfectly honest with him, and when I was in the car, I was just like sitting there like doing it on my phone. I think. For shock of a little word, I just like had no emotions towards it as it was happening, and I think I did. Like later on that night, I was trying to feel emotions, and then when I woke up in the morning, I was like, "Oh fuck, I got a ticket." Situation. And I think it's more of like I know that I'm just gonna forget to pay that for a while. Like I'm horrible about it. So there's the definite resistance, but there's a financial. But I've been good at using that financial trigger to make more money. So what I wanted to bring this into, and maybe you can bring more perspective on this, is just the fact of I didn't have to go into Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, all that different thing. We had common ground in a short conversation of we care about the college students. Maybe this is the universe telling me I got to be paying attention to stuff around me, because I know I checked, which came to me. I was like, no, I checked to see if anybody was there, but I still was in the wrong for turning from that lane. But I did check to see if anybody went in that lane. So I was being safe, but I was within the law, and I was like, I don't. And also, I was like, I'm driving around there a lot. I make U-turns like in front of those guys all the time in places that I'm not going to do it. I don't want him to remember me on. I want him to remember me in a good way.
Right.
Yeah.